All right, I want to start off by congratulating our hometown Tampa Bay Lightning on bringing home the Stanley Cup last night. It was very exciting. I got an opportunity to meet those guys back in January when I got here. It was maybe the second night that I was here. I got to go watch a game, my first hockey game, and fell in love with it that first night and got an opportunity to go down in the locker room after the game and meet Coach Cooper and a few of the players, Sorelli, a few of those guys. And so it was awesome to see those guys have the success. Just really happy for Coach Cooper and his staff and Mr. Vinnick and their president, Steve Griggs, is a great supporter of ours as well. So had a lot of fun. It was fun last night watching the game with my 5-year-old daughter, Savannah, trying to explain the game of hockey to her. And just excited to be able to watch their success, and hopefully some of their success will rub off on us, and we can bring some championships here to hometown Tampa Bay. Really good start to the week for us. Really proud of our guys through 2 days, the way that they practiced. Been really pleased with that. It feels good just to get back on the practice field and be able to practice and be back in a normal routine after the pause last week. And, it's not very often that you get an open week after 2 games. Typically your bye week may be 4, 5, 6 weeks. So I think for us, the silver lining of the postponement last week was really for our staff and players just to get a weekend to kind of, reevaluate maybe the strengths and weaknesses, things we need to work on after 2 games, and then also kind of refocus and re-engage with our plan, getting ready to start conference play this week. We're preparing for a very talented, very experienced team in Cincinnati. I'm just very impressed with Coach Fickle and his staff. They've done an excellent job. I believe they have back-to-back 11-win seasons. Just really impressive the way that he's built it to where they are today. They play very well at home. I think somebody told me yesterday they haven't lost a home game since 2017. And so there's no doubt it's a huge challenge ahead for us. And, really for us, we're still in the early stages of our team and of our program. And, for us, it's really about improving every day. It's about learning how to practice the right way, how to meet the right way. We're still learning about our personnel, obviously quarterback. We're still learning about our guys there. So, for us, obviously we have to get ready for our opponent. But really, our focus during the week is trying to improve ourselves, how we do things, and get the guys in the right positions. We do have 1 or more players that will be out this week due to the COVID testing protocols, contact tracing, all the above. I'm looking forward to the day where I could say we have 0, but it seems like we're probably going to be in this position all year long as we continue to try to play safely through this pandemic. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Yes, when you're on the base of getting 1 quarterback ready for play, and you're saying you're not going to take him out of things very go wrong, I assume during practice, you're going to get a couple. How does that take for your chance to
Yeah. And let me say this, because I know you guys have done a really good job of staying in tune to the quarterback situation. What I had said is that we were going to use our first 3 games, thinking that we were going to play against FAU, to give multiple guys opportunities in games, with the hope and idea going into the 4th game, thinking it was going to be Cincinnati, that we would be able to go with 1 guy and let him go. We're not at that stage yet. With this being our 3rd game, Cade's just now getting back after being gone for a couple weeks. So this is still a game where multiple quarterbacks can and will play, and we're just going to use it as another evaluation piece, and hopefully after this game we'll be in a better position where all of those guys have had some game reps, and we can put the practice reps and the game reps together and figure out, going into the next game against East Carolina, who our starter is going to be, and hopefully be in a position to play, 1 guy moving forward. But this week we will play more than 1 quarterback as we continue the evaluation process.
How hard was it to come to grips with that by Cincinnati?
Yeah. I knew whenever I said that, right, 4 weeks ago, that I was probably jinxing myself. Anytime you come out there with a statement, right, most people, they just say, we'll know when we know, right? And I was just trying to be as honest as I could with you guys. It's kind of my idea was the fourth game would give us an opportunity. Obviously, I couldn't predict with Cade that he was going to be out the first 2 games and not have an opportunity to get any plays. But yeah, I mean, it's an ideal scenario, a Cincinnati scenario, right? Their quarterback's going into his 3rd year, very talented, played a lot of ball. He's won close to 24 games or something in his career. So that's the scenario we want to. That's what you're looking for, the ideal scenario. But anytime there's transition, you have situations like this, and you can't just skip there. You literally have to work your way to get there, and then hopefully when you do, you're able to continue that way in the future. But yeah, I mean it's a challenge, but it's like 1001 on our list right now. Just everything's a challenge right now. So you just take it for what it is, have a good attitude, and go work to get better each day, and take every day as it comes. Well, I did not think that we would play as poorly as we did against Notre Dame, so I'll say that. Outside of that, it's difficult anytime you come into a new program, right? New personnel, new schemes, new coaches, trying to figure it all out, what it's going to look like. And then again, we're not making any excuses. We've done a good job of taking ownership of the situation, but when you add the COVID stuff to it, and we haven't had our starting 11 on either side of the ball yet, and we probably won't this week, and I don't know if we will all year long. So that just further adds to the process. But I was telling somebody the other day, it reminds me of our first couple years at Clemson, where you're literally learning how to practice. You're setting the standard, and it's not something you can do in a 45-minute Zoom meeting. Like, it takes time. It takes going through a bad practice and laying out to the guys why this was not good, and then coming back the next Tuesday and having a good practice and saying, hey, this is why it was good, and then letting them see you play better on that Saturday so they can correlate it back. And I knew whenever over the last 2 years, I had some other opportunities that I could have pursued of teams that would not have been as much of a rebuilding process. It would have been more of maintaining. And so I had a decision to make, over the last year and a half of, do I want to take a job and try to maintain what somebody else has done? Or do I want to take a job that has a lot of potential, that has had some high moments, but hasn't had the sustainable success? And knowing that that's going to take more work and a little bit longer time, but also knowing that's personally more of a challenge and more, it gets you up in the morning. It's something exciting. And at Clemson, I mean, we worked extremely hard. Don't get me wrong. You can't have the success that Clemson's having without working hard. But as a coach, the challenge is not the same. The challenge at Clemson as a coach was not the same as it was, Coach Sweeney's first 5 or 6 years. So I was hungry for that. So, hey, be careful what you wish for, right? We're getting it. So it's not like I'm walking into some surprise and going, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I knew that it was going to be a process. I just didn't know COVID was going to, further challenge that. But hey, I mean, I've used this analogy before. It's kind of like being in the batter's box and you got that heavy weight on your bat. So you're sitting there swinging that heavy bat, then you take it off and get up there in the batter's box and you rip it, right? So to me, this season's kind of that year where we're going to be swinging that heavy bat, and it's going to be a lot of learning lessons. I think we're going to have some high moments. I feel strongly about that, but it's going to make us stronger year 2, year 3, year 4. And you go back and look at Coach Taggart's career here and how he kind of started 2 wins and 4 wins, then ultimately got up to 8 and 10. Look at Coach Fickle in this league, first year with 4 wins, and then the next year won 11 and 2 years in a row. So I mean, that's probably the standard of running a good program and building the foundation that's needed. I mean, we've won 5 games in our last 20 games, right? I mean, that's like, we can't hide from that. I've told our players, hey, even though I wasn't here for all those, I'm wearing the logo. I accepted that. And so the only way that's going to change is by changing, how we do what we do in a consistent effort every single day. And it's going to take time, right? It didn't get this way overnight, and it's not going to be fixed overnight. But that doesn't mean we're not working every single day to try to have the most success. Obviously, that's what we're doing. But I've seen some small wins already along the way, to be honest, that probably I didn't know that I would see at this point. The attitudes of our guys that I've seen to this point is really been good, considering the challenges that we have. We just got to play better. We got to coach better. We got to teach them exactly how we want them to do what they're doing, and then we got to play better. And and hopefully that'll happen this weekend in Cincinnati.
With that in mind, Jeff, what are some of the challenges that you see when you look at the Bearcats? I know they're very strong defensively.
Yeah.
They shut down the triple option last week for the most part.
Yeah. There's a difference in watching the video we watch in our meeting room, which is no sound and kind of a higher shot, than when you watch the TV copy. And I sat right there on my couch with my 4-year-old daughter Savannah and started watching. And I mean, it was, in my opinion, other than maybe one play early in the first drive, it was domination. Just felt like Cincinnati's offensive line and defensive line dominated a very good Army team that played extremely hard with great leverage. But I think the Cincinnati's speed on the defensive line and size was something that I couldn't exactly see from the video that we watched, but watching the TV copy, I mean, they were running guys down left and right, and then their offensive line, very strong, big guys, did a really good job covering up. So that was probably the biggest thing that stood out to me was the talent of their linemen, and then also watching their skill guys. I mean, they got guys that are 2-3 year starters. I turned some video on, and I just keep seeing the same guys out there making plays. I think their quarterback has a chance to be an NFL guy, looking at his arm and accuracy and those type of things. So hey, it's a great challenge. I mean, this is one of the top 2 teams in our league right now, far and away. And this will be a great challenge for us in our first league game to kind of see where we are and how we need to improve.
Looks like Thad Mango may be one of those pleasant surprises you've seen. Can you speak to his?
Yeah, Thad really, since the day that he got here, brought a work ethic, an attitude, and a mindset that we needed in our defensive line that I'm not sure that we had here, based off what I could see in the off season and the summer. And it's amazing how one guy can really kind of light a fire in that room. And we didn't play great, obviously, against Notre Dame on the defensive line, but we had some challenges with the triple option Citadel. It doesn't matter who you play. When you're playing that triple option, that defensive line's the key. And I felt like our guys did a really good job, made some plays in that game. And I think Thad has brought some maturity, some experience, some work ethic, some desire that really helped add some stuff to that room. I would say Thad, and then obviously we've talked about Mitchell Brinkman at tight end. Those are 2 fantastic young men and great players that have really added to our locker room and to our team.
I know nobody can read the future, but Jeff, do you think when all these conferences start getting in their conference bubble, do you think you start to flatline a little bit?
I don't know. I think it's going to have more to do with COVID than it is going to be the conference. I really don't put what's happened based off of conference, non-conference situations so far. I think it's just going to have to be, it looks like, just from the little quick snippets that I've seen, that we're at some of the lower levels that we've seen, and so hopefully that'll continue. And then, the other thing that's going to happen is you're going to have, as the season goes, you're going to have more guys on your team that have already had COVID, have antibodies, so they don't have to worry about the testing and the contact tracing and all that. So I think just on that fact alone, you're going to have some herd immunity within some of your position groups, and which will lessen the number of guys by the end of the year that are out. But right now it's the most difficult part of it, and we've had one scenario of this already, is when a young man is out due to contact tracing. So his roommate tested positive, so he was out for 2 weeks, right? He comes back one day of practice, and then the next day he tests positive. So now he's out another 17 to 21 days. So you're looking at a guy that now is been at practice 1 day in 35 days. And that's hard, and that's a very realistic scenario that can happen. And I think that's why the NCAA made a great call in giving everybody a free year, just because, you know, there's a lot of strange scenarios like that that have happened and taken place. But, you know, obviously our kids are disappointed when they can't play and they have to be out, but they respect the process, and they've had really good attitudes about it, as good as they can. And again, I say it all the time, but I can continue to repeat it. We're very fortunate with our medical staff of really taking care of our young men. And I think for a new staff coming in, I think our players feel very confident knowing that this coaching staff and support staff is truly about their best interest, number one, before anything on the football field, number two. And that's something that's important with a new staff coming in, trying to build a foundation.